senator, and he's saying, look, we're not sending him back to the United States. El Salvador's like, we're not going to do that. And Attorney General Pam Bondi's like, look, if he's not sending him back, this is really a moot point. We don't need to worry. But it is that very stark contrast, and I find it very, very troubling, especially as someone who believes in enforcing laws.
You know, it's interesting to see Maria Bartiromo, who worked so hard to help with the propaganda for the Trump regime. But even when she brings on these MAGA Republicans like Beth Van Dun, it's like, come on, here, play this clip.
And that's the stake that they're willing to die on. If that's the hill they want to go on, God bless them.
So, I mean, look, it was a mistake. The administration said it was a mistake.
It might have been a mistake, but they're picking the one straw out of an entire barn full. And what we need to focus on is the 20 million that were allowed to enter here, people on the terrorist watch list, people from drug cartels.
Yeah.
And that's what this administration, you can pull one example out, but if that is literally the person that they're gonna hail as their savior for this, I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, it's incredible, actually. Congresswoman, you got a new bill, which...
Like, you could tell there that even Maria Bartiromo, a major propagandist, is like, who? She knows these people are idiots. Bartiromo knows. The Fox Business anchor Cheryl Casson then suggests, brings on this MAGA Republican Congress member. This is the guy who took, Congressmember Moore, who took the photo with his thumbs up in front of the concentration cells in El Salvador. Just, they suggest there's some big conspiracy theory behind Senator Van Hollen's meeting with Garcia. Play this clip.
I want to call for Senator Chris Van Hollen to meet with the family of Rachel Morin, the murdered woman in Maryland, the mother of 5 children. He has not met with her at all, but he's meeting with an MS-13 gang member down in El Salvador. I am calling for Senator Chris Van Hollen to meet with Rachel Morin's family and give them at least the same amount of time that he is giving to an MS-13 gang member.
Patty Morin, Rachel Morin's mother, is going to be joining our program later on this morning. I just want to let our viewers know, and we're going to get her reaction to these pictures as well. It looks like they're sitting outside, and he's got civilian clothing on, and it appears to be a restaurant. So we're trying to understand, was this staged? Exactly what was the point? Did Van Hollen somehow stage the way that this appeared to be? The civilian clothing, I think, is the biggest question mark. So we'll get to the bottom of that one.
So then Fox brings on the State Department spokesperson, Tammy Bruce. And again, as Michael Cohen, not Trump's Michael Cohen, says, even Kim Jong-un thinks this is a bit much. Here, play this clip.
President Trump is, as we know, the best deal maker in the world. Everything he does is with a goal in mind. He is also a very pragmatic man, because that's the only way you get deals done. He is focused on one thing and one thing only, making America safe and strong and prosperous. And so every action he takes will lead us into that direction and moves us forward. So the fact is, China is engaging. China did effectively, they're not being silent, they've had their own approach, but the president's making it clear that he is going to, and has from the start with the tariffs issue, that this was a negotiation framework, and our evening the playing field with tariffs has brought virtually everyone to the table, as we know, and in this case, of course, it appears including China. So President Trump will make decisions that are best for this country. We've seen that, and whether it is tariffs or, in fact, the situation with Ukraine, where he remains committed to ending the carnage.
I want to tell you about our next sponsor, StopBox. I am a responsible gun owner, and I use StopBox to make sure that my firearm is secure. I have a 5-month-old baby girl. Seems that she's getting older each day. I have a number of nieces and nephews in my house, and it is critical that I have the peace of mind that my firearm is safe, secure, out of their reach, and that can never be accessed, while making sure that I can protect my family. And one of the things that I like about StopBox Pro is it is 100% mechanical, so you never have to worry about it not working when you need it the most. And I was surprised about how durable and well made it is. And also, it not relying on a battery also gives me more peace of mind. You know, all StopBox products are proudly made in the USA in their own facility. Not only does this ensure the high quality craftsmanship of every product sent out, but it does also create meaningful jobs here. And at the Midas Touch Network, all of our products, all of our merch are made in America as well. So it's great to be supportive of an American business like Stop Box. So for a limited time only, our listeners are going to get a crazy deal here. Not only do you get 10% off your entire order when you use the code Midas10 at stopboxusa.com, they're also going to give you a buy one, get one free for their Stop Box Pro. So that's 10% off and a free Stop Box Pro when you use the code Midas10. Just spell it right. MEIDAS 10, Midas10. So you go to stopboxusa.com, use that code Midas10. Discover a better way to balance security and readiness with Stopbox. And then speaking of Kim Jong-un thinking it's a bit much, here's what Jesse Waters says. Play this clip.
Where were you when my contract was up?
I was trying to get you fired. I spread that rumor about you going to Newsmax.
Not completely untrue.
Yes.
You always have to have a backup plan, Greg.
Yes.
Trump, if this is pulled off, could go down in the history as the guy who broke China. Now, the question is, what kind of collateral damage is that going to cause? Mm-hmm. Are we going to be able to reindustrialize at the same time as we collapse the Chinese system? I don't know. He's got to stick the landing perfectly. We have to get deals with Mexico and Canada. That is the most important. And I'm sure we'll get a deal with the Europeans.
And then Jesse Waters disgustingly compares Abrego Garcia to George Floyd. I mean, just horrific stuff that they're saying here. Play this clip.
If you are going to talk about the rule of law and due process, you have to have a victim that is pure. You can't have a Floyd. You can't have a Smollett. You can't have a Garcia. Your example of victimhood has to be a sympathetic victim, not someone who beats his wife and traffics humans.
But Jesse Waters wants to make it very clear that he's not looking in his investment account. He goes, things are great. I haven't looked at my bank account or my investment account. Here, play this clip.
The Europeans need our energy. We need to sell them cars. We're going to have them drop their tariffs. But mostly we need them for basing. Mm-hmm. They're basically one big, beautiful military base. Mm-hmm. And we get it cheap, especially Italy. You project power throughout the Mediterranean, the Mideast, North Africa. You need it in Poland. You need it in Great Britain. And we love those Nordics.
Yes, we do.
We love those Nordics, especially as global warming picks up and we're going to play some games in the Arctic. I see this going well. And again, I have not looked at my investment account.
Good for you, Jesse. That's probably a smart move for your mental health.
Okay, Jesse, just because you haven't looked doesn't mean the rest of us decide to cover our eyes and close our ears. The American people are hurting, Jesse. They don't have $20 million a year contracts like you do. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and Donald Trump defrauded the American people. Because he is a fraud. He's a sexual predator. He's a criminal. He's a felon. Donald Trump said that he was going to lower prices. Donald Trump said that everything would be great on day one. Housing would be more affordable. Mortgage rates are like at 7% right now. Housing is less affordable. There's nothing about no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. The price of eggs is much higher. Groceries are much higher. Trump can lie and say that that's not the case, but things are less affordable, and the economy's tanking right now. Oh, then Fox brings on RFK Jr. RFK Jr., he's been saying he always has, but again, the most horrific things about people with autism. And here also RFK says that adults don't have autism. Again, he just spreads lies. He spreads medical lies and dangerous disinformation. This guy's leading the health department. Play this clip.
Anybody with common sense, Sean, would notice that, because the autism, this epidemic, is only happening in our children. It's not happening in people our age. And if it was better recognition, you'd see it in 70-year-old men. And I'll say this, I want to be very careful when I say it, because I've never seen a person with full-blown autism. I've seen many people with Asperger's and, on the spectrum who are my age. I've never seen anybody with full-blown autism. That means nonverbal, non-toilet trained. Is that you don't see these people walking around a mall because they don't exist in our age, or they're very, very rare. They do exist, but they're rare, so rare that I've never seen one. And I've been around intellectual disabilities my entire life.
Then Fox brings on the guy leading